I ran it.
That's the chair.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
I was actually going to try it.
When they had their meeting last night, missed out on that one tonight. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Lori, cybersecurity training is for the 45 days a week as a replacement.
Mine's about 44 days. Yes, she starts.
Excellent. So I have to do that.
How do you know what's in the market on the inside?
Last 3 years.
Saturday was on. Saturday was on. Connie was on.
No, they're not outsiders.
Some of them
Oh,
are
we still do
emails.
have outsiders, lots of outsiders.
Yeah, the big ones.
Yeah.
One's on me. I just know, well, yeah, well, I don't know. It happened that phone rang in council, he got $25 in 2 days, but it never happened. No, that's on me. We might hold you accountable.
For the record, 35 years. I have
I'm impressed. I've never seen you actually have hair.
Yeah. Well, I so contrary to all of that, I'm living for life. You know what I did today? This time I didn't done this. I didn't shower, I was shampoo twice. Then 3 minutes.
Yeah, you should be there now.
And then I'm like, oh,
You
didn't rinse the rinse.
I've never done that. A year and on time.
Got 3 minutes, Dan.
That's what I got.
Yeah.
No, that's okay. Do you need that? No, we're good. Fred, you're here. We're good. Live service. Don't never forget. Does?
Trust me, I like the same thing. I looked at the difference on there. Got ground three.
None of us know.
That no way to happen.
Do you need them? Do you need them? Chris, do you need them?
No.
Hey, just check.
I'm not digital tonight.
Yeah.
If you can imagine that, actually.
That's totally opposite. of me. I wish I was the other way. So you're just gonna say, well, cut no more trees, I won't pay for it.
So I have 7, Lori, are you good to go? Yes?
Yes.
Okay, welcome everybody to the organizational meeting and the swearing in ceremony for the 2021 to 2025 council. So congratulations to all members of council on your election, and the work just is beginning now. So congratulations. I get to call one meeting every 4 years to order, and this is it. So with that, I will call the Town of Hanna Organizational Council meeting for October 26, 2021 to order. And I will now turn it over to our former mayor, Mr. Warwick.
Okay, thank you. I'm not gonna get long-winded, but I just want to say to everyone that it's been my absolute pleasure to be the mayor for the past 8 years and be on council for the 11 years that I served on council. I'm going to certainly miss it, but I see that we're in very good hands going forward. So with that, we're going to go right on to the oaths of office. We are going to start with the councillors in alphabetical order. So I would call on Sandra Bowden to please come forward. I'll get you put your place your right hand on the Bible and repeat after me. I, Sandra Bowden,
I, Sandra Bowden,
swear that I will diligently, faithfully,
swear that I will diligently and faithfully,
and to the best of my ability,
and to the best of my ability,
execute according to law
execute according to law
the council or the office of councillor
the office of councillor
of the town of Hanna.
of the town of Hanna,
So help me God.
so help me God.
Congratulations, Councilor. Now I will call on, we'll call him Gerald Campion tonight. It is a formal, I struggled with this.
Yeah.
Place your hand, right hand on the Bible, please,
I,
and repeat after me. I, Gerald Campion,
Gerald Albert Campion,
swear that I will diligently, faithfully,
swear that I will diligently, faithfully,
and to the best of my ability,
and to the best of my ability,
execute according to law
execute according to law
the office of councillor
the office of councillor
of the town of Hanna.
of the town of Hanna.
So help me God.
So help me God.
You can get closer if you want to.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Sue.
Thank you. All right. Now we'll call on Fred Crow. Place your right hand on the Bible and repeat after me. I, Fred Crow,
I, Freddie Kroll,
swear that I will diligently, faithfully,
I swear
diligently,
and faithfully,
and to the best of my ability,
to the best of my ability,
execute according to law
execute according to law
the office of counselor
the office of counselor
of the town of Hanna.
of the town of Hanna.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations, Counselor Crow.
It gets easier after that, right?
All right, now I will call on Sandra Murphy.
Cheering section.
I do.
Place your right hand on the Bible and repeat after me. Oh, yeah, so that's fine, if you don't have to repeat that.
Thank you.
We're gonna cheat.
You go ahead.
I, Sandra Murphy,
I, Sandra Murphy,
solemnly affirm
solemnly affirm
that I will diligently, faithfully,
that I will diligently, faithfully,
and to the best of my ability,
and to the best of my ability,
execute according to law
execute according to law
the office of counselor
the office of counselor
of the town of Hanna.
of the town of Hanna.
I will call on Kyle Olson. Repeat after me. I, Kyle Olson,
I, Kyle Wilson,
solemnly affirm
solemnly affirm
that I will diligently, faithfully,
that I will diligently, faithfully,
and to the best of my ability,
to the best of my ability,
execute according to law
execute according to law
the office of counselor
the office of counselor
of the town of Hanna.
of the town of Hanna.
I will now call on Angie Warwick. Place your right hand on the Bible and repeat after me. I, Angela Jacqueline Warwick,
I, Angela Jacqueline Warwick,
swear that I will diligently, faithfully,
swear that I will diligently, faithfully,
and to the best of my ability,
and to the best of my ability,
execute according to law
execute according to law
the office of counselor
the office of counselor
of the town of Hanna.
of the town of Hanna.
So help me God.
So help me God.
All right, and my final duty. I'll call on Danny Chapter, please. Place your right hand on the Bible, repeat after me. I, Danny Chapter,
I, Danny Paulus-Chuck,
swear that I will diligently, faithfully,
I swear that I will diligently and faithfully,
and to the best of my ability,
and to the best of my ability,
execute according to law
execute according to law
the office of Chief Elected Official
the office of Chief Elected Official
of the town of Hanna.
of the town of Hanna.
So help me God.
So help me God.
First to say,
Congratulations, Your Worship, Mayor Chapter.
thank you, Chris, for doing that for us. Well done.
Yeah, thank you. My pleasure.
And if the mayor, I think Lori wanted a minute or two to get the owl working or paired up or whatever, so she just need a break. Continue.
You tell me.
It should be about 6 to 8 feet from Danny.
You know the bottom one, right? That's what a man do.
Yeah.
You know.
Yes. Well, it's working properly. Wherever.
Oh, cool.
Here's, it's from the- it's still a bit of change. I thought so. We're good to go, Lori? Okay, I'll turn it over to you, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, thanks, everybody. Be patient. I'll get through this. It might be a little awkward, but we'll be okay. Our first motion is we need to accept the agenda for the 2006, or sorry, October 26, 2021 organizational meeting be adopted as presented. Brass. All in favor, sorry. You've all had a chance to go through the agenda, I'm hoping. Perfect. So returning officers report. Second motion we need is the council accepts the information from the returning officer dated October 26, 2021 regarding the results of the 2021 municipal election as submitted by Rhonda Lund.
And I guess if there's any questions on that information, we'd be prepared to answer them. Pretty self-explanatory, I believe.
Second. All in favor? Just log out. Just log out. It's available. That's where I got it. Senior staff and introductions.
So, Mr. Mayor, there is no motion required. We just wanted an opportunity, so I'm gonna allow my 5 directors to just introduce themselves. I think everybody knows who everybody is, but just to introduce themselves, and in your package, kind of a bit of the highlights or the main focus of their departments that they operate. So with that, I'll start with you, Mrs. Lund. I know.
You sent me this package.
My name is Rhonda Lund. I'm Director of Corporate Services for the town of Hanna. I've been here for 44 years this year and enjoyed every moment.
So we'll just scoot down to Lori.
My name is Lori Armstrong. I'm the Director of Business Communications. So anything related to brand, logo, colors, website, the social media, the arrow. Not everything communications related, more marketing. A lot of communications. And then I would help the contractor look after our IT infrastructure and our software.
I'm Gwen Snell, I'm the Director of Community Services. And I like to refer to our department as the Good News Department. We look after the Parks and Recreation Department. So all your facilities, all your parks, all your green spaces, the trees. And we also look after the Family and Community Support Services, which is preventative social services. So everything from Canada Day to the Mayor's Garden Party to those large community events, to some of the things that you don't see, such as promoting the Snow Angel program, or checking on trees on boulevards, or ensuring that the ice goes in on time. That's all within the department. We have a great crew. And I haven't quite got 44 years here. I've been in Hanna for 18 years, but I've got 30 plus years experience in the department. So.
Brent Olson, I'm Director of Public Works. We also look after the cemetery, the graves, fill the graves, and look after the airport. Runway and the lights. Pretty much catch all for the banners, anything in needs, I guess. Sorry.
My name is Adrian Jamal, Director of Protective Services. Sometimes the bad news. I look after the bylaw issues in the community, and I am also a development officer to administer the land use bylaw. I am the coordinator for the Health and Safety Committee for internal staff, and I'm Director of Emergency Management for the company.
So that's our crew, Mr. Mayor. And, move on to the next agenda item.
Our next agenda item appears to be our information meeting, which is tonight, so on and so forth. Our council meeting, sorry. We've got our schedule, our recommended motion. Council approves the regular meetings of the council be held on the following dates: November 9th, 2021, December 14th, 2021, January 11th, 2022, February 8th, 2022, March 8th, 2022, April 12th, 2022, May 10th, 2022, June 14th, 2022, July 12th, 2022, August 9th, 2022, September 13th, 2022, October 11th, 2022. These meetings at 6 p.m. at the council chambers, unless an alternate location or electronic of the meeting is agreed to by council and advertised to the public. Motion to that effect.
Sure.
Well,
So, Mr. Mayor, just for council, so this is our past practice. So it's the second Tuesday, 6 o'clock. As I mentioned to the mayor, that is flexible and open. It's worked for everyone to date for quite a few years. But if there was a situation with council or a significant number of council that the second Tuesday was a bad Tuesday, that can be amended. But if there's no issues or concerns with that date and you're good with these dates, then we'll move forward as projected. So.
questions?
I'm going to ask for an amendment to the information meetings, and I don't know if that is going to affect the day that we choose our actual official council meetings. I'm going to make a recommendation that we coincide with meetings on the same day in light of time, and those of us that have other business to take care of, that we do all our business in one day.
So, Mr. Mayor, we haven't got to that agenda
Yeah.
yet. And I guess from administration's perspective, we would probably have some concerns about that. Just from the fact that the info meeting that we have on the fourth Wednesday typically can provide us direction on items to bring to council in approximately 2 weeks at the second meeting on Tuesday. So if that's saying that, if that's the preference of council to do it in 1 day, that's certainly council's option. So
I myself personally like the 2 weeks to chew on it and think about it. Discussion.
I also like the idea that we gotta take a few hours off work, the evenings, instead of a full day every single month. Usually the full sessions are shorter, so allow this is easier for me to handle.
I agree also. I like the 2 days, kind of gives a chance to deal with things from a meeting, and then a couple weeks down the road, then meeting with the information and getting more information on stuff that may have been discussed previously in the council meeting that is bringing things to a current light. So that's fine.
Champion?
I like it the way it was set up before. I don't like the 8:30 in the morning thing, but you need the time between the two meetings, you need a couple weeks. And that meeting there, we have a lot of issues we bring up that we try to avoid from the media, things that we can discuss and go into depth in. A lot of times we have presentations brought to that meeting, which work good because then you're not doing it on the night of the council meeting. The council meetings can't get long enough as it is.
Because I've never been to one, I really don't feel it's fair that I have that much of an opinion on it, except anything really good.
Sandra, I've never been on, so I don't know what else. As far as spending a full day or whatever, so I'm, I've got all the time in the world, so.
Yeah.
So I guess, Councillor Warwick, were you wanting to make an amendment to this motion or to the info session?
Well, I guess I'll wait for the session.
Okay.
I think the consensus are
Recommend motion, see, we are at the information.
So sorry, Mr. Mayor, I hate to
Yeah.
interrupt, so we need to council to vote on
Oh, all in favor of our
the council meeting as
as
presented.
presented?
Make that motion.
Sandra made the motion. Or Kyle made the motion, sorry. Yeah. All in favor? Opposed? Abstain?
Yeah, that's
Okay. Gary. Next is our information meetings. We held the following dates: November 24th, 2021, January 26th, 2022, February 23rd, 2022, March 30th, 2022, April 27th, 2022, May 25th, 2022, June 9th, 2022, July 27th, 2022, August 31st, 2022, September 28th, 2022. At 8:30 in the council chambers, unless alteration or an electronic meeting is agreed upon by council and advertised. Motion. Ross. All in favor?
Just, is there any discussion on
Angela, if you-
that? Again,
Well, the consensus I'm hearing around the room is that the past practice seems to be the practice of, that people are consenting to.
You could still make
The other option I would consider is having it in the same week. If we could have the council information meeting in the same week that we have the regular council meeting. And I guess if you need a certain amount of time to decipher information that's coming forward, I guess that would not probably give enough time to get the information before the council meeting. So that would be my other request too, is to consider having the information meeting in the same week.
Would you like to make a motion about that?
Yep.
Okay.
Mayor.
Yes.
Councillor Warwick, the issue that I would think there'd be a problem here is a lot of the committees that we sit on, having the info session so close, you may be having conflict with the opposing commissions to sit on, like on Big Country Waste or whatever, other towns, municipalities have their meetings around that time too. The majority of theirs are held at the beginning of the month. So I think by moving the information thing ahead, you may be causing conflict. That's just my opinion.
So before we vote on the amendment, Mr. Mayor, so as I said, we brought forward past practice, and it is a morning one. It is an 8:30 in the morning meeting, and I did talk to the mayor about that, you know, knowing he's a business person, whether even as an option to move it to an evening. At that point, the mayor had indicated the morning was good. I know from our perspective, the morning generally works out fairly well, as I believe Councilor Campion said. Quite often we'll have presentations from whether they'll be consultants or engineers or other groups. And sometimes, you know, they're typically expecting a day meeting, not that they would do an evening meeting, but that sometimes fits in their schedules better than when we say 6 o'clock in the evening. So as I said, these are flexible as we move forward. If there are issues or challenges that anyone has, they can be amended and changed at any time. So this is just our starting point, and it's based on past practice. And but if it doesn't work for council, we certainly can look at amending it at any time.
Any other discussion?
So we'll need to vote on.
Yeah. Any in favor of the amended? Opposed?
Defeated. So now you'll have to go back to the original motion.
Go back to the original motion of having our information meetings still.
No, so the fourth Wednesday of the
Fourth
month
Wednesday
at
of the month,
8:30.
8:30 in the morning at council chambers and West Conference. Okay,
Do you have a motion on that, Dan?
we did,
I did.
And we need to vote.
and vote on that, all in favor? Opposed? Signing authority.
So there's no motion required here. Just want council to be aware that the process for signing authority for the town of Hanna is basically the mayor or deputy mayor. And both are unavailable, any councillor and chief administrative officer or the director of corporate services or the corporate services assistant. So we typically, I don't know if we've had, not this previous council, but council before, we might have ran into an issue when the mayor and the deputy mayor were both away at one point in time. But I don't believe we had that issue in the last 4 years. I know if primarily that's in regards to signing checks, and we do that every 2 weeks. So if you are the deputy mayor, you probably will get a turn to do that, depending on Mayor Popischuk, his schedule. He would be the first person to sign. If he's unavailable, then we go to the deputy mayor. If I'm typically there and typically sign, if I'm not there, then we go to the director of corporate services. So that's the policy that's set up now. Just wanted you to be aware of that. And now we move forward. The other thing on this is before you leave tonight, I would like to see all of you, because you will have to sign some documents for the bank. So we'll get those signed off. So when the meeting's over, make sure we see each other so we can get your signatures.
Any questions on signing authority? Our next one is deputy mayor appointments. Recommended motion The council procedure bylaw 1015-21 provide councilors to serve an 8-month term as deputy mayor of the town of Hanna. As member of the council will be appointed as deputy mayor for the following terms. Council Bodine, October 6th, 2021 to June 30th, 2022. Councilor Campion, July 1st, 2022 to February 28th, 2023. Councilor Kroll, March 1st, 2023 to October 31st, 2023. Councilor Murphy, November 1st, 2023 to June 30th, 2024. Councilor Olson, July 1st, 2024 to February 28th, 2025. And Councilor Warwick, March 1st, 2025 to October 31st, 2025. Motion, Kyle.
So just very briefly again, deputy mayor is there to act in the absence of the mayor. So if the mayor is unable to attend a council meeting, the deputy mayor will chair that meeting. If the mayor is unable to, if he's supposed to bring greetings at an event, the deputy mayor will be the first call to bring greetings to that event. And that's pretty much it. We've been fortunate. Mayor Warwick attendance record was very good. I know that I think each of our deputy mayors in the last term did get some work, but was minimal. And if that happens and you have to chair a meeting, don't be afraid. We'll work with you. It's a learning experience. Typically, we would start with an experienced counselor as the first deputy mayor, and as it works out alphabetically, it works out just fine. Councilor Bowden will be the deputy mayor for the next 8 months.
That being said, if you come up on your rotation and you're uncomfortable with it, we will help you through it. Bottom of the communication is once a motion is passed, a new motion will not be required unless we have to change into the rotation. So for some reason, if someone can't fulfill that role at that time, we can't change it. So. All in favor? AUMA convention and required counselor training.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor. So no motion is required. I have heard from some of you regarding AUMA convention. So as it says in the background, previous council budgeted to allow for 7 counselors to staff to attend AUMA, not knowing who was going to be elected, who was going to be here. So it is a 3-day event. It typically alternates between Edmonton and Calgary. They did throw in Red Deer a couple of years ago as a trial, but I think the next one is Calgary. The next 2 are Calgary, Edmonton again. So I don't see Red Deer in the near future. So great opportunity to meet other councillors, to vote on who will represent you on AUMA and vote on resolutions which they bring forward to the province to try and move through and get some changes generally. So I need to know, I do know from a few council members who are able to attend, and one council member has indicated to me that they're not able to attend. So I know there's a few I haven't heard from. So if you could let me know whether you're attending, so we can A, get you registered, and B, we want to get our accommodations sorted out and fixed out. It's generally a tough time finding rooms. Normal year, there's about 1,200 delegates there. I'm not sure this year with it being the COVID year and being some restrictions in place, whether the numbers will be the same, but I guess we'll find out. There is also a virtual option, so you can register and you can do it virtually on your computer from home. So that is an option. So please, if people will let me know here the next few days at the latest, so we can make sure we've got everything set up. The other thing, the MGA requires that all municipal councilors attend training and have that orientation after an election. This will be the second time that this is mandatory. So I think in this package, there is what we've done last time and what we're proposing to do this time is take the training through the elected officials education program. It's the easiest, it's the simplest, and they have a number of dates and locations set up. So I need to know again from you guys which dates you would like to attend and where. And if you let me know that, I can get you registered for those dates. I know that Mayor Plavishchuk and Councilor Wilson are taking theirs in Edmonton. So that's another option. You can take it in Edmonton. It's the 2 days prior to AUMA. So it's the Monday, Tuesday there. So you're basically in Edmonton for a week then, but you've got that training done at the same time. So those of you who haven't, let me know as soon as you can, and we can get you booked in before they fill up. And especially if you want to go, the closest one we have is Three Hills, and you don't want to be stuck having to go to one in Grand Prairie or Bonnyville when, and incur all that travel. So let me know as soon as you can.
Yeah, tell me if you're very hurt.
It's one of the
I prefer
options.
you not go there.
You must have booked me in it, because I already got the seat.
Yes, you told me this morning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So just wanted another opportunity to say we need to hear from those of you who haven't, so we can get that settled up and get that moved forward.
Perfect. Our next is our counselor handbook. I'm assuming that's his great book next to the year.
Yeah, we tried to throw in as much as we could. Generally, we don't expect that you're gonna read it all in the first week, but touches a little bit on everything that you will be expected to learn and will learn or will know. The other option too is if you do want it, we can send it electronically. I believe, did it go through, Councilor Wilson? We were a little worried because it's 1,000 and some pages, so. Went through. So if you want it electronically as well, we can send it to you. And then you can have it that way,
So forgive me for my ignorance, was that like a case book basically then, or is it more of a procedure?
So it's just primarily is information. So you have the
Okay.
budget in there, the land use bylaw,
Okay.
some bylaws, some policies, job descriptions, organizational charts, those types of things. And then, the other binder is the Municipal Government Act. So that's really interesting.
Anything like what you started with, yeah. Any questions?
There is no test, so you don't have to worry that we're gonna ask you a test on it. So, but I hope you find it interesting. Take your time and go through it.
Okay, so moving on to 10.00. Recommended motion, council approves the following appointments for a 1-year period. The committee, personnel committee is Danny Bob, Mayor Plavishchuk, Council Murphy and Olson. The emergency advisory committee, Mayor Plavishchuk, Council Bodin, and Warwick. Finance and audit, Mayor Plavishchuk and Kathy and Nicole. Quick blip on that.
Yeah, Mr. Mayor, they're not, the committees haven't been very busy. Personnel committee, as I talked to the mayor, we will probably use a little bit more than we have in the past, just from the fact that we've got some retirements and some transitions. So there'll be some staff plans that we'll want to run through the personnel committee, and basically from administration's perspective, get the support of the personnel committee or not support. If we don't have the support, then we got to go back to the well and come up with something they can support that we can move forward to the full council. Emergency advisory committee, there will be some training required there will be training required on all members of council. We'll have to take an elected officials emergency management training course, but the emergency advisory committee will have some additional training. If you're not used in that role, that's a good thing. because that means we're not having an emergency that we have to call you in to deal with. And the Finance and Audit Committee primarily will be available to meet with the auditor following the interim and the final audit stuff. The auditor would, the auditor has any concerns or issues that he would like to bring forward, he will sit down with the Finance and Audit Committee and go through that with them. So the Finance and Audit Committee probably will have a meeting very shortly because we're doing our interim audit starts Thursday. So Endeavor will be in our office on Thursday and Friday, and potentially following that, they may want to have a quick meeting with the audit finance committee just to tell them what they saw in the interim audit. So.
More discussion. Guys are making this pretty easy. I'm kind of scared. Next agenda. Oh, sorry, all in favor?
I think we had a bit.
Orange had the motion. Did we? Sorry, motion. Hatch. Thank you. Sorry, all in favor? Opposed? Carried. 11.00 council representative appointments. I spent a little bit of time going through the list and communicating to several different boards. I had opinions of where people would like to be placed. And for the most part, I think we got it pretty close to what you had hoped for. There's a couple that are positions that we have to fill. And so bear with me, try them. If they don't work out, yeah. Move on from it. It is a one-year appointment. Recommended motion, council approves the following appointments for a one-year term. Committee or board and appointments. So the Acadia Foundation is Councilor Murphy. Alternate is myself, Mayor Palmischuk. Big Country Waste Commission is Mr. Campion. Alternate is Councilor Cole. Community Futures Meridian Region Board of Directors, Councilor Warwick. Community Service Board is Councilor Campion. Fred and Freda Gruder Education Bursary is Councilor Kroll. Hanna District Chamber of Commerce is Mayor Palmischuk. Hanna District Medical Corporation is Councilor Kroll. Hanna Golf and Country Club is Councilor Olson. Hanna Communities in Bloom is Councilor Benin. Hanna Learning Center, Councilor Olson. And Municipal Library Board, Councilor Murphy. Hanna Wake Student Exchange Committee is Councilor Cole, Councilor Warwick. Harvest Sky Regional Economic Development Corporation is Councilor Benin and Councilor Warwick. Henry Kruger Regional Water is Councilor Campion. Mayor Palmischuk is the alternate. Marigold Library System is Councilor Murphy, alternate is Councilor Warwick. Municipal Planning is Councilor Olson, alternate Councilor Dean. Councilor Economic Partnership, Councilor Warwick, Councilor Murphy, alternate is myself, Mayor Palmischuk. Councilor Regional Municipal Services is Councilor Olson, alternate is Councilor Dean. Red Deer River Municipal Users Group is Councilor Campion. Myself being the alternate, Palmischuk, and the Veteran Memorial Highways Association is Councilor Kroll. If you want to do that.
I don't know if there's much more there, Palmischuk, other than the fact that some of those boards and committees will be starting right away. So we've already had some emails from some committees wondering. We had an organizational meeting who's been appointed, so you might, we will send that information on your behalf to all of the boards and committees. But in the interim, if something comes up, we will certainly let you know when the next meeting of a commissioner board that you may be appointed to. So some of them are happening quick, so you get thrown in the fire right away, and don't worry about it. There'll be other people on those boards and commissions that will be in the same boat. But just got appointed, just got elected, just got appointed, so.
We have a motion, to accept the motion. Champion. Need more discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Carried. Municipal staff appointments. My bad. Quick description of all the different committees. On that note, it was actually it was very interesting to hear everyone's wants and wishes and Christmas wish lists and so on and so forth, and trying to set everybody up in a fashion that they could succeed and still have what they wanted, and so it was a bit of a challenge, and with some help from Kim, I think I did okay. Like just saying so myself, but it wasn't just put everybody in a hat and draw the name out. There was a lot of thought put into it. There was some serious whiteout on a couple of the pages because this isn't going to work. But I do thank you guys. I really hope that we got it pretty close. Municipal staff appointments, recommended motion. Council appoint Adrian Moll, Director of Protected Services as Department and Development Officer, and Rod Delana as Director of Corporate Services and Services as Assistant Development Officer of the Town of Hanna for a one-year term. The council will appoint Adrian Moll, Director of Protective Services, as the Municipal Weed Inspector to enforce, monitor compliance of Alberta weed control within the Act of the Town of Hanna for a one-year term.
Can we do those as
We do those two, sorry. So the first one is appoint Adrian Moll, Director of Protective Services, and as Development Officer, Rhonda Lund, Director of Corporate Services and Assistant Development Officer of the Town of Hanna. Discussion.
So, Mr. Mayor, I just want to take the opportunity, I think as council is so aware, we need to appoint someone to those positions. I think council may be aware that Adrian Moll is retiring at the end of the year. So I'm not sure how we're going to move about changing, transitioning at this point in time. So we left it so that he would be appointed for a year in case, we ran into a situation in January, February that we needed a development officer who could been appointed. Certainly, Rhonda can deal with a lot of development too that happens, and I'm not appointed as development officer, but I certainly understand the land use bylaw. It can work with anybody who's moving forward with development. Typically, January through March is a quieter time for development as well. So that's why you might be questioning, he's retiring, we're appointing him for a year, but that's the case. As we transition through and we, however we decide to move forward, if council provides that direction, then we may be back in the new year with a different appointment. So if there's any questions at any time, I'm able to answer them. So.
Motion for number one. Favor. Opposed. Carried. Motion number two, that council appoint Adrian Moll, Director of Protective Services as Municipal Weed Inspector to enforce, monitor compliance with the Alberta Weed Control Act within the Town of Hanna for a one-year term. I think it's pretty straightforward. Get a motion to that effect. Roll.
So just again, similar situation. Adrian's the only one with the training currently in our organization to be able to administer the Weed Act as we move forward and transition. Certainly, depending on how quickly that goes and where it goes, there may be a different appointment coming up in the new year once we have our plans solidified.
More discussion. All in favor? Carried. Next is our assessor. Recommended motion, council appoints Mr. Terry Wilbury, municipal assessor of Alberta, as municipal assessor for the town of Hanna until October 2022 organizational meeting in accordance with bylaw of 1003-2019. The designated bylaw officer. Designated bylaw officer. Motion. Mr. Captain.
So, Mr. Mayor, just, the MGA requires that we appoint a person who has the qualifications set out to be an assessor. And the council has a contract with municipal property consultants. It does end in June 12, 2022. So that will be, I believe, the second or maybe third 5-year agreement with municipal property consultants. So administratively, we're very pleased with Terry and his team and the work they do. It's not necessarily fun work when people don't necessarily agree with what your property is assessed at, but we found Terry to be very accommodating and willing to answer questions and explain his position as to why it's assessed at the value. And at the end of the day, I think the proof in the pudding is that we have not had any assessment appeals for many, many years. So if council does make this motion and appoints Mr. Willoughby, certainly as we move forward into June of 2022, we'll be looking at bringing back either looking at RFPs for the assessment services or bringing back a recommendation to council to enter into a new agreement with municipal property consultants.
More discussion. All in favor? Number 14, committee board member appointments. Basically, this is appointments to our various boards we have in the community. The council approves the following appointments to the committees and boards. Committee is Big Country Housing Authority, is a 2-year term. Betty Simpson and Patricia Maven. Term ending October 31st, 2023. Community service, we do these separate, Ken, or all one?
Don't make it rules.
Okay. Community Services Board is a 3-year term. Cody Dale McNair, again ending October 31st, 2024. The Reuter Educational Bursary is a 2-year term. Connie Deadlock ending October 31st, 2023. The Hanna Library Board is a 3-year term. Ricardo Hoare, Carolyn Mammal, October 31st, 2024. The Hanna Medical Committee is a 2-year term. Ken Hansen, ending October 31st, 2023. And the Municipal Planning Commission is a 3-year term. Chris Warwick and Larry Stickle, October 31st, 2024. Motion. B.
Yeah.
Gonna be a challenge, I'll get it.
So, Mr. Mayor, as you can see, we do still have a couple of boards that do have some vacancies. So Community Services Board still has some vacancies. So they may come throughout the year, and I believe we probably will have one for our next meeting. Lady just expressed interest in an application in being on the board. And I think the Municipal Library Board is still looking, could have a member or two join. So again, if you're out there, if you're talking to people who might be interested in filling those positions, certainly let them know they're available, let them know if they're interested, they can fill out an application form and go through the process. We do this every year at the organizational meeting. There will be appointments that will expire, and either people will be reappointed if they're interested in returning and the board is satisfied with the work they're doing, or we'll have some new people. So, but it is a little bit fluid, and we may see some appointments, especially for the library board and community services board, come forward during the year.
Any more discussion? All in favor? Carried.
So, Mr. Mayor, before you adjourn, I'm not sure, do you have anything you want to add? There's a couple things I want to just say, just so you council's aware, and I know it'll be a learning process for our new councilors, but previous council approved the demolition projects in town on 5 buildings. They've been working on the abatement, still working on the abatement on a couple, but they will be in town and starting demolition tomorrow. So Mr. Olson, you might see a big hole either tonight or tomorrow or the next day or two in Golf Course Crescent and a couple other buildings. So they've got 3 buildings that they're planning to take down this week, and the hole will either be in town late tonight or tomorrow morning. So you'll probably hear some noise, see some noise, and get lots of people out wanting to take pictures and those types of things. But it's been a long process, but we're going to see the fun stuff starting here tomorrow.
I've got some photographers that are interested in knowing where the Seymour might be.
Okay.
Is there any?
I don't have a council one. I don't have a date or time for that one at this moment. So that one, the other one is the Central Meat Building on the corner. So just especially for the new councilors, we are working through with the contractor we hired. They're hoping to get a Section 34 exemption from OH&S so that they won't have to abate the inside of the building as much as they otherwise would, because there's concerns about the structural safety of it and putting people inside. The main support beam on the 2nd floor is cracked. So anybody who we've talked to that have went in there, looked at it, backed out. And but there's a process to go through, because occupational health and safety doesn't want you to just use that as an excuse not to go through the full abatement process. So we are working with the contractor on that, and that's why that one's a little bit behind at the moment. But hopefully the plan is still to have the other 2 down here before the end of the year. So just wanted to make sure, because I know you don't want to be blindsided as a council, and my role is to try so that you're not blindsided. And you don't want someone who's, talking to you now as a new councilor, asking you questions about why this is happening and what's going on. So
You can't answer.
you can't answer. And most people will understand you might not be able to answer. You just got appointed to council, but I just knew that there'll probably be some buzz in the air here in the next few days as those birds are being demolished.
Do we have a time frame to see more of the Central Beach?
I don't have a definite time frame. They're finishing the abatement on the Seymour. They're still in there doing the abatement.
We want them done at the end of November.
That was the goal. That's the goal. So I know their excavator's here for this week, and then I think it has to go back to another job and then it can come back. So I'm hoping by mid to end of November, that'll be it. I think that's it, Mr. Mayor. Just wanted to bring you up to that. So
Perfect.
you knew that was happening.
It is a hot button topic,
Yeah.
for sure, coffee shop and stuff. Any other?
Question I came today, couldn't get the sign down on the school.
Oh, no, we haven't moved down there, right? I know we're working with Craig Oilfield to see if they can do it.
Well, because somebody told me their trucks were set up on the street the other day.
Craig Oilfield?
Yeah.
Well, they were here to look at it. I don't know if Director Olson has any more information.
Last I talked to John, they were coming out to do some work for GFL, and they were going to go and assess it and give us a quote before doing it, because we have to decide if we actually want to spend money on it. I did look at it as a fire department. I approached the fire department to see if we could use it as a ladder and rope rescue. But talking with a few of the other officers, because it's not an emergency, we would have had to have all of the proper OH&S railing, tie-offs. And if something were to go wrong on a roof, there's a big liability there. So we opted out of that option. So as soon as I get a quote from Craig Mile, we'll bring it back to you, councilors and mayor, to see if you want to spend money to have it.
The other option, speaking with the demolition company, is they can try and take it down using their pole, but no guarantees that it'll come down safely. They certainly would do their best if we don't want to go the other route, but they will not guarantee that it will come down and still be in one piece, so.
Well, I had a resident in Hanna told me, said he didn't care if we spent 50,000, save that sign, because it's a part of Hanna.
They're bringing that 50,000 forward, are they?
Well, we spend it crazier than that on other things, so
I want
I won't go into that part right now. That's what I was told.
There was a Lee Bear crane sitting at Tim Hortons when I went home tonight, now we able to unit to take it down.
Yeah.
Okay,
So that's all I had, Mr. Mayor.
perfect. Anything else from any council? Well, I guess we are adjourned.
You tell us we are.
We are adjourned. Do I get to go after
You
this?
can, yeah. Well, that's pretty soft, Dan.
I am a soft guy, so